Still Hustle Daily. What's going on, Hustle Nation? Welcome back to another video. I got another story time for y'all, man. This girl on her first time being called a slur in the 5th grade, all right? I never had that incident. I'm glad I never had no incident like that when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? So, appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with me, man. As always, we about to get right into it. Make sure y'all like the video. Like the video. Hit the thumbs up button for your boy, man. Y'all slacking on them thumbs up button, but y'all have been subscribing. Y'all have been commenting. And I appreciate y'all for that, man. I love y'all for all y'all support. We about to get right into it. Don't think I'm going to talk your ear off because I ain't. I'm about to get right into it.
Got off the phone with my grandmother, and she decided to remind me of the time when I was in 5th grade and I had just left private school. I begged my mom to let me go to public school with the rest of my friends, and I was on the playground playing with this little white boy. I don't know what I did to him. I was probably being bossy, which is very on brand for me, but he found it necessary to call me a... Now, I didn't understand the gravity nor the seriousness of being called it, but I did know that bitch was a bad word and that he had just called me a bitch. Now, my reply to him in my little innocent teeny bopper brain was, you know what? That attitude is probably why your parents have to drop you off and pick you up from school separately. I would like the record to reflect that I did not have a concept of divorce at that age, nor did I know that his parents were going through a very nasty divorce, nor did I know that he was in therapy because of said divorce. Now, I immediately see the shift in his demeanor, and this boy starts boo-hoo crying. Now, as an adult, I realize, because I've reinforced probably a deep thought that he had, that he's responsible for his parents divorcing, and he literally could not take it. A teacher finally comes over because they see him crying, they see me looking at him crazy, and the teacher asks me what's going on, like what happened. Now, again, in my teeny bopper brain, I did not understand the gravity of what this little boy called me, so I told her. He called me a... And I said his parents pick him up and drop him off separately. Teacher stares at me for a good 10, 15 seconds. Then she finally sends us to the office. Now, at that point, my mom had never really showed her ass at my school, but I could tell they were apprehensive about calling her. So they call her while she's at work, mistake number one, and they are trying to kind of mitigate and move through what this little boy said to me, but imply that I needed to be picked up by a family member because of an incident between me and another little boy. You know how black moms just be knowing. She immediately told them to put me on the phone. I repeated the entire situation back to her, in which she calmly but very scarily said, "Go ahead and put that principal back on the phone for me." Now, my mom did a whole lot of cussing, yelling, and screaming. I didn't pick up everything, but I did pick this up. She said, if I pull up to that school, y'all are going to need to call the police on me. So it'd be best if you call her grandmother to go and pick her up. That ended up not being a much better option, because after they called my grandmother and let her know what happened and that she needed to come pick me up, she was in the parking lot maybe 7 minutes later, peeled in like she was in Fast and the Furious, left the car on, left the keys in the ignition, was coming up the walkway, threatening everybody, asking him where his mama was at, saying she was going to beat her up. It was a mess. Now, as she's coming up the walkway, my principal and vice principal are trying to have her meet me at the door so she doesn't come inside the building, but she wouldn't have none of that. Comes in her moo-moo, sits down and says, "I'm not going anywhere until his mama gets here." Principal's trying to plead with her, "Man, please just get your granddaughter, go home, have a conversation with her. This is traumatic." And she is not with it at all. She said, "I'm going to sit my black ass right here and wait for his mama to get here so I can really show her what a bitch is." Now, the little boy's mom ends up pulling up, and my grandmother immediately goes off the second she opens that door. My principal's like, "Man, please calm down. Please calm down. Like, I really don't want to have to call the police. This is already traumatizing enough. Like, please just get your grandbaby and go home." Now, my grandma kind of clocks that she needs to calm down. So she grabs me and she looks this white lady in the face and she says, "I need you to understand something. You are not safe outside of these walls. If I catch you off of school grounds, I am going to fuck you up something fierce. I need you to understand that I am mentally ill and that your son fucked up when he called my grandbaby a bitch." She finished it off by saying, "This shit don't have a time limit. If I see you 10, 15, 20 years from now, me or my daughter, you are going to get beat the fuck up." Of course, when she took me home, she had the whole conversation with me about being called a slur and how I felt, and, you know, that's something that's just going to happen. And she gave me ice cream and McDonald's, and, you know, it was a real bonding experience for me and her. And funny enough, me and my mom did run into him and his mom years later, so let me know if you want that story. So I ended up moving to a different part of my neighborhood when I was in high school. I want to say freshman, sophomore year. I ended up meeting my new neighbor across the street who would end up becoming a really dear friend of mine. And we went to the bus stop. We were talking, coming to find out she was dating some dude who had the same initials as a dude I was talking to at the time. And lo and behold, that the dude she was dating was the dude who called me a. So, of course, at that point, I'm a lot more racially aware. Like, in my head, I did have the understanding that he learned that from somewhere. I had never had another incident with him. And, of course, if you grow up in the same neighborhood, you will most likely go to the same elementary, middle, and high school. So I was still around him. I just never really had to interact with him. So, of course, he's around her house more often. I'm over at her house more often. We've had a couple of here and there conversations. We've obviously never really hung out. But, you know, he was cool. I was cool. We don't speak of the incident. You ain't got no problems. I don't have no problems. Now to the run-in. So by high school graduation, they're still dating, they're still talking, whatever, and it's time for my neighbor's graduation party. At this point, I've completely forgotten really, truly the whole incident. Like, it's no longer in my brain. My mother obviously loves her like a daughter, so she's over there. She has her gift. We're there, kikiing, ha-haing. He's there. So out the corner of my eye, I see a woman who I vaguely recall, but like I can't put my finger on who it is. Now, I don't clock it, but apparently when my mother and grandmother said on site, she meant on site. Once his mom hugs, kisses her son, hugs, kisses my neighbor, she turns and her and my mother lock eyes. I want to say they kept this staring contest up for about a good 7 seconds. After which my mother decided she was tired of staring, she started to shift in her seat and she lifted herself up. That lady wasted no time in dropping her gift off to my friend, picking up the rest of her shit and hightailing it the fuck up out of there. But there was no altercation. My mom obviously really wasn't going to fight this lady at my friend's graduation party. She most definitely would have caught her ass in the parking lot, if anything. But yeah, that lady quickly recalled what my grandmother said. And that just goes to show the type of people my grandmother and mother are.
Yeah, your grandmother, your mother, they tripping. They shit. They touched that lady. They ass need to go to jail, because this is something that happened when they was in 5th grade. Like, come on, let's be adults here. This is something that kids, something that kids go through. They found out that whether they knew the fucking little boy was traumatized or not. He's in 5th grade. I don't know how old you are in 5th grade, but I'm pretty sure it's fucking 5th grade. You feel me? So, but him saying something in 5th grade and it going all the way up, and now y'all graduating high school and you still having this animosity towards a child. Well, not even a child. A grandmama mad at the motherfucking mama. Like, like, now you do. So you do gotta keep in mind, like, I hope they not teaching them this at home. But this is a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a child. He probably seen that shit on TV. His mama and daddy probably do say that shit. Was saying that shit when they was in the household. He probably hearing it. But it's a child. He probably listened to a music video. They calling y'all niggas bitches and everything in all the rap songs. He probably listening to the rap song. So her mama and her fucking grandmama, they tripping. You feel me? Like, leave that motherfucker. Man, this shit happened in 5th grade. Grow the fuck up, grandma. Why is you threatening this lady and shit like that? This is a child that said this. You feel me? That's how I feel about it. You feel me? Was it wrong? Yes, but no. Why the fuck you trying to fight the whole lady for? Like, is it that fucking serious? Like, yes, a nigga bitch is bad, but this is a child that's in 5th grade. Look, fifth grade at. I don't know how old you got. Alexa, how old do you have to be? How old are you in 5th grade?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, 5th graders are typically 10 years old.
10 years old. Come on, man. Grow the fuck up, grandma. And mama. Both of y'all ass grow the fuck up. Shit. But that's what I think. Shit, they should. Man, listen. Thank you, kids. Grow up. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rock with me, man. It's your boy Ray, Big Play Ray, man. I'm out.